little step may take, but I don't like it.
Why the fuck is Gideon booty so fucking juicy, bro?
Stupid characters in horror movies go.
Y'all hear that, nigga? What do you say about Gideon?
Choice to make the characters moan after every little step may take, but I don't like it.
Why the fuck is Gideon booty so fucking juicy, bro?
Stupid characters in horror movies go to cliches that are overdone, cheesy, corny, or just flat out stupid. I'll admit that this video's list is a little short, but very passionate. All of these tropes piss the fuck out of me. Sometimes they even ruin the entire movie or show, but that's on the extreme level. And actually, that's where we're about to start. The first trope being... Now, I understand why this is a necessary plot.
What's some of y'all's least favorite tropes or stereotypes in, like, any type of media, any type of form, or any form of media? A lot of the tropes that I personally do not like being, like, anime, but one that really pisses me off, I just don't like, unless you could write it really well, I don't like the prodigy character that kind of just learns everything, like, so fast. I really hate when, like, an anime's like, oh, this is so hard, you gotta spend 30 million years to learn this, and then the main character does it first try. Hate that. Hate that. It feels so contrived. Like, don't gas something up to that extent to make the main character just be the only person in the history of ever learn it that fast. Tech Road with the tier 1 sub. Shout outs to you. Zeph, I got a question. I gotta ask your opinion on Vinland Saga. I enjoy Vinland Saga a lot. I think the beginning of the series, like the first arc and the farmland arc, is like absolute utter peak. It's like 10 out of 10. And then I think it declines after that, not because of a writing decline, but because I don't like the tonal shift that it does. So for me personally, it declines after Farmland, but it's not like the series gets worse. I just don't like how serious and how really thematic it was, and then it kind of like drops that. It's not completely gone, but it becomes a lot more comedic and lighthearted as it goes on. And that's not what I was looking for. That's not what drew me to Vinland Saga. So, not a bad show at all, though. But, like, out of, like, the send-in big three that it's usually placed with Vagabond and Berserk, I have it as, like, my least favorite.
Want the main
Not bad
character
show, though.
getting killed off in the second episode. I get it, but it gets to a fucking point. The worst offender of this being Stranger Things. They've recently aired their final season, and I'm gonna use them as the perfect example. Now, for a show with merciless interdimensional monsters and shit taking over the world, it has really never been known to kill established fan favorites. Quite literally throughout its 5 seasons, the only characters that have died and showed up in more than one singular season are 2 antagonists. That's it. And there's definitely not a problem finding a character to kill. The main cast is like 50 fucking people at this point. It's
literally,
like
bro.
The damn Avengers. But instead of killing...
I'm somebody, you don't have to kill people to make a show enjoyable, but like here it gets to a point. Like there's some shows where it's like if you're dragging it this long and your main characters just do not get touched, it really does get to a point. Like One Piece, like I'm sorry, I can't watch One Piece with any level of suspense because I know every single member that is a Straw Hat or associated with a Straw Hat is going to be okay. Literally, the only person that probably could have shocked me is like the most spoiled death of all time being Ace. Like when you run a show for like a really long time, you kind of like the kill rule kind of applies to you. Like you kind of have to kill people to keep people invested, in my opinion. If you're running a show for that long, especially an action series, bro. Like Yu Yu Hakusho, there's no one in the main cast that gets touched, but that show is so short, it's not really a problem to me because like you still feel the suspense for the first like the 2 really intense arcs. You will feel the suspense, and they do a lot to make sure you keep up with the suspense stays there. But like you cannot have something over like 100 plus episodes, 200 plus episodes, or like Stranger Things going on for 10 plus years, and like no one dies. And it's like the only people who die are the ones that are newly introduced. Especially Stranger Things. Stranger Things was really bad at it, bro.
Any of
really
them,
bad.
Every single season, like clockwork, they come up with a new character instead. That's basically the season sacrifice to
literally
try to drive up the show's stakes. It feels fucking cheap, and it is so incredibly obvious that this show's too scared to even lay a finger on the main cast. Instead, they only kill off newly introduced ones, or side characters, or background characters. Like, that's some pussy ass shit, and I'm tired of it. But you wanna know what pisses me off even more is how the plot armor itself happens in the show. Every single time a main character's in danger, is about to die, every single time, they very conveniently get saved at the last moment, even if it realistically doesn't make any sense. But I'm not saying... Oh, damn. But I'm not saying a main character should die every time they're placed in danger. But this show constantly does this bullshit, and not once...
Yeah, this scene in particular pissed me off. Yo, these demo dogs were running around the entire hospital, and you're telling me now when it's the main characters that are at risk, they are slowly walking in this room? Yo, I was tight as hell. I was real tight. Someone in the chat just said... Low-key, also, the sympathetic villain type kind of overdone in movies for a while. I don't need every OP to have a sad backstory. Just let the villain be a menace. Real life, though, I do agree. I do think, like, having an understandable or relatable villain or, like, one that you sympathize with is kind of overrated. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who started the trend, but I think it's kind of overrated. Like, yes, I do enjoy if my villain is just evil to be evil. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know who started. I think it happens a lot in anime where it's like, if you're a basic series like a Demon Slayer or like a Dragon Ball, they're like, oh, Muzan sucks because he has no motivation other than be evil and kill humans. Like, bro, sometimes you do need that. Like, if you're that evil and you're really fun to be evil, you don't need twist villains. You don't need, oh, I was actually doing this for the better of humanity. I was a good person the entire time. Like, you don't need that for every single villain. I'm sorry. And, like, sometimes they try to force it or try to make you sympathize. It just does not work. One that really comes to mind, like Jiren, when they try to give him that sympathetic backstory, that just did not work at all. What's another character that, like, has a sympathetic... Like, they try to make you sympathize with them. I recently watched Gurren Lagann. They try to completely flip the script of, like, the main villain. What's his name called? The something king. I forget his name. In Gurren Lagann. If you've seen Gurren Lagann, you know who I'm talking about. I really don't mess with him. I really don't, I really didn't mess with that, like, try to mess with that switch up. It was cool-ish, but, like, I don't know. Aizen got no backstory. Someone said in the YouTube chat, yeah, Aizen got no backstory, and he's incredible. Lord Genome, yeah, Lord Genome. It's cool in the sense where it's like, yeah, he was only keeping people underground so that they didn't go up to space to go against the anti-spirals. But it's like, you are a bad person. You're not, like, he was, if you go through the first act, he was objectively a bad person. You're not going to spin all the acts that he did and try to convince me that he was good. Like, I didn't like the writing on that. Twist villains, especially in Disney, are mostly trash and got spammed in the 2010s. That is true. I think the Disney ones are kind of overblown because, like, niggas got to remember their kids' movies. Like, shout out Stray Phyllis, but Stray Phyllis, you're not the target audience for the Disney movies. He's the one who made the twist villain video, right? Like, I understand, like, if you're an adult watching those movies, you might not enjoy the twist villains, but, like, I think as a kid, like, I don't think any of them are egregious, for real. In my opinion, I don't think any of them are egregious.
It takes the danger out of the show.
I was a kid when it was coming out. Like, when Frozen came out, with, like, when the nigga became the villain at the end. I was a kid. I was a kid when it came out. I was a kid when Big Hero 6 came out. Like, I thought the twist of it being a teacher, I thought it was cool as a kid. Like, towards the target audience, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, actually, it kept me more engaged, and I liked the story more, even though when you grow up, you realize, like, it wasn't actually an organic twist. If that makes sense. I hope you know what I'm talking about. Lord Genome did nothing wrong, gang. Bro, they literally said he would bring little girls, and he would have them in a harem, my brother. Shout out my nigga Bandana Bito, but that is a horrendous take. That's like saying Griffith did nothing wrong, bro. That is a horrendous take, yo. Lord Genome was a horrible person that they tried to spin that he was doing good the whole time. Like, they didn't tell us that he literally had a harem of little girls. Like, nah, bro. Nah. I don't mess with that, bro.
Every time the show tries to build up tension in one of those scenes, I literally couldn't give a fuck because I already know the main cast is coming out unharmed. And then there's the fake outs. Ugh. This show just loves to play with my balls. Whenever I think this show's about to stop being on that Winnie Hood Jr. bullshit, they manage to disappoint me every single time, and I fall for it like a chud every single time. But I hear the counter argument, oh, a show shouldn't have to kill off beloved characters in order to have stakes. And you're right. The real problem is the stupidly excessive amount of plot armor these characters have. You're telling me a group of dumbass kids somehow survive the events of the show while hundreds of trained military soldiers get flicked like a booger on the wall.
Someone in the YouTube chat said, when you think about it, Stranger Things is anime and live action. You're not wrong, bro. You're really not.
Or all vicious killing machines against others, but when it comes to named characters, they turn fucking stupid. They quite literally get nerfed. Like, I know you see the difference between these two scenes. They're the same creatures.
Nah, literally though, that's exactly what I said. Literally, look at how they treat the two things, bro. Literally. Someone in the YouTube chat just said, I don't know if y'all can hear me over the video. When you really think about it, Stranger Things is just anime but in live action. I think that's very true. I think Stranger Things is like the gateway of a shonen to the casual audience, in my opinion. Some nigga said Disney things, bro. Yeah, nah, Disney things. This is so Mickey Mouse, bro. This is so Mickey Mouse.
Explain that. But I really do feel like season 5 amplified the plot armor issue for me. I came into this final season expecting the most tragic deaths, and can you really blame me? The writers of this show themselves are hyping it up to no tomorrow, saying it was gonna be a dark Christmas. And guess what? It was the happiest ending of all time. The one character that quote-unquote died was left up to viewer interpretation. That's how pussy the show is.
Yeah, it was actually, dude, the producers, who is the people who made this show, the Duffer Brothers, they should have never spoke. They spread so much lies before this season. Oh my goodness, bro. You would think they got paid to lie. How much propaganda they were spreading, man. Terrible.
They're real lucky I wasn't one of the main writers. I would have had 5 massacre scenes. But on a real
Literally.
note, really thinking about it, it's not the plot armor itself that I have a real issue with. It's the plot armor that feels cheap. And Stranger Things is the perfect example of that.
Literally. Anime expressions. Is he talking about the Akigaho faces and things like that, bro? I don't like those either. Like, sometimes anime be a little too weird. And it's like, it's kind of hard for me to like, I think anime now has gotten more mainstream. But when I was like in high school and stuff and I was trying to put people on, it was like every anime I liked had that one thing that was just too weird for me to recommend. Like, if I go through my top 10 in my head right now, the only anime I would feel safe to where, like, somebody who has, like, a slight suspicion to anime would not, like, see anything weird, in my top 10, Yu Yu Hakusho don't got anything weird. Full Metal's not weird. Vagabond's only a manga, but Vagabond's not weird. Berserk got too much graphic stuff. Bleach, I didn't read when I was in high school, but that doesn't do any weird stuff. Y'all saying Dragon Ball Z, the Roshi stuff. Some people might not be able to take that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Some people won't be able to take that, bro. High key. Mainly Roshi. Like, I know Kid Goku be wildin' too. I think some people will be able to get over that, but I don't know. Death Note, I don't think got nothing weird for real. Naruto, Jiraiya be wildin'. You got Kid Naruto turning into like some busty anime girl like in the first episode and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, I felt like every anime I was watching had something weird that I couldn't recommend. Like, even Hunter x Hunter. Like, Hisoka, bro. Imagine me as a real nigga trying to give it to one of my folks. And then, like, they're watching Hisoka stare at little boy booty. Like...
This next trope is a little something for my anime fans, and it is
yo, you know what I'm saying?
Softens my penis. Now, I just want to let something be clear. I'm not at all a huge anime connoisseur. I've only ever watched a few animes, and the first one I ever watched was High School DxD, and that was directly followed up by Naruto. Now, I'm really
High School DxD is crazy.
Trope, but I'm still gonna talk about it because I see it in almost every anime I watch, and it pisses me off.
Hey, Goonfire lore. Should I tell y'all this? I don't know. Do I want to tell y'all this? One of the earliest, and dude, this was back in YouTube where like I didn't know much about anime. The first anime I would watch, I watched Dragon Ball, Naruto, Full Metal Alchemist was the first manga I read, and then Dragon Ball and Naruto. Even though I watched it, I would get the manga from my library all the time. This was the fourth anime I watched because the whole thing was on YouTube for free. I think it still is. Golden Boy. This anime, it is very risque, but it was mainly funny based. There was definitely some horniness with it, but like it was mad funny. This show is one of my favorites still. Golden Boy is hilarious, but because I watched this, I would get what's the term of anime? It's called like ecchi, I think, where it's like it's high key corn. I'm not going. It's high key. it's high key corn, bro. So because when I finished watching this show, I was like, yo, this movie, this anime, mad funny. This anime hilarious. I got recommended this. Hold on. Hopefully I can look this up, and it's not weird. It was like this action show. I thought it was cool. Whole time. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I'm not gonna say nothing more. If you know, you know. This was like, I watched like 3 episodes and then I realized what it was and then I stopped. Cause I was only able to watch it on YouTube. I was only able to watch like 2 to 3 episodes and they were censored. But I'm assuming if you were to actually watch the show, it was bad. I have not seen more than 2. But bro, if you know, you know. I'm not gonna say no more. That's some GoFire lore for y'all, bro. That's some GoFire lore for y'all, bro.
Gonna lie.
That's some GoFire lore for y'all.
Like for example, when the main character, it's almost always the main character. Whether they pause for a bit, if they do that cheesy ass smile with their eyes closed, then they do that little chuckle, like, oh, in bonus points if they have a long awkward pause of silence right afterwards.
Yo, anime expressions be corny.
Like, I know it's an animation, so it's a little exaggerated, but I still find it cringe. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I get flashbangs with the thought of someone unironically doing this bullshit in real life. I don't know. And it's not just this particular smile. It's really any exaggerated emotions. Like when they go.
I have never seen Great Teacher Onizuka.
Like, dude,
never seen it.
Fuck up. And what pisses me off the most is how in some animes the characters are constantly moaning and grunting after every little action. Like it gets to the point where I'm putting in earbuds or also seem
now,
like
why do they do that though? Like cartoons though, why do anime characters always got the moans, bro? Like, is that like a cultural thing? Like, I'm not even trying to troll. Like, for real, for real.
Japanese porn. And let's not talk about the anime girls. They're always like. I low-key did that shit too, though. But I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, I might be nitpicking.
Yo!
I hope you guys
Nah, that's crazy.
A little bit. I know it's a stylistic choice to make the characters moan after every little step they take, but I don't like it.
Why the fuck is Gideon booty so fucking juicy, bro?
Stupid characters in horror movies go.
Y'all hear that, nigga? What do you say about Gideon?
Choice to make the characters moan after every little step they take, but I don't like it.
Why the fuck is Gideon booty so fucking juicy, bro?
Stupid characters in horror movies go together like peanut butter and jelly. And you wanna know why? It's because a lot of these movies are low-key survivable. If you're not a complete fucking idiot. A lot of the times, the horror villains will be
yo, I'm crying, bro. I'm crying.
Before they finally show up. Lights turn off and flicker. The character may catch a glimpse of the monster. Stuff starts moving on its own. And they just completely fucking ignore all of that. Like, what? Okay, like,
now real life though,
natural selection, and it's hard to feel bad because if I was in their place, if anything remotely suspicious happens, if so much as a damn light turns off for a millisecond, I am getting the hell out of there ASAP. You know, and the thing
is, if you watch it, like, you could really do this for every horror movie. I don't think, like, a lot of them, if you were even the slightest amount of common sense, you're surviving. And it's not even like, oh, you have hindsight because you're watching a movie. If we might have to do this, bro. Like, if I was to blindly watch a horror movie, bro. Blindly. Like, I don't even know what happens. And I just told you, do any action that you, like, commit any action to survive. Like, you would probably survive all of them. Like, in all honesty. Like, if I'm not wrong, there's a horror movie called, like, Jeepers Creepers, I think. Some of y'all can fact check me. Like, some character goes into a tunnel and gets murked. The details might be fuzzy. Why would that nigga go into a tunnel? Why? Why would he? Why would he go into that tunnel? I hear at the end of the movie that the dude who went to the tunnel dies. Like, that's like the ending or something like that. Insane.
That makes it worse.
Insane.
Is that a decent amount of the time, the movie will take place in a location where you just know that shit is about to go down.
Literally.
Abandoned buildings, the middle of nowhere, a family home with a history of 15 bodies. You couldn't make it any more obvious to the character that they're next, yet they still act flabbergasted when they're chased by the boogeyman. But what about the times when a character does actually know that something is up, but their dumbass still decides to stay in the location, or even worse, investigate.
Yeah, this one.
On, bro.
That
This
tunnel.
isn't Scooby-Doo,
Yeah.
and you ain't no damn hero. Just who do you think you are? But I get it. This is to advance the plot, of course.
What happens when he goes into that tunnel? I've never seen Jeepers Creepers, and I heard the author or the director of the movie's a weirdo. I don't know if I want to see that. What happens when he goes into that tunnel?
Realistically, nobody is doing this bullshit. You don't even know what the hell you're up against. Quite literally, anyone with common sense would not put themselves in this situation. Long as villain monologues. You know, when the villain is explaining their entire plan or motive to the hero. Now, usually this ain't too bad. It doesn't really bother me personally, but what really does piss me off is when the villain has the hero captured, has them subdued, has them submissive, and instead of finishing the damn job, he starts fucking yapping.
Yeah, this is annoying. Yeah, so like this is annoying. Like when if I was to ever make a story, I promise you I will make that my mission that this never happens, bro. I also don't like when villains got bombs too. I hate the bomb countdown thing too. Hate that. Hate that.
Just won't shut the fuck up, and he talks just long enough for the hero to get saved or somehow escape. It's complete bullshit, and I especially hate it when this dumbass shit happens in the end game, the final battle, and that's how the battle finally turns around. It's lazy and stupid. Like, come on, bro. Just write a competent villain. Movies are no strangers to reusing the same cheesy lines, and I'm not gonna lie, most of them don't really bother me as well. You got the classic lines like, "We got company," that are low-key a little tough. Then you got the lines that are a little cringy like, "Oh, they're right behind me, aren't they?" Overused, but harmless at the end of the day. Then you got stupid-ass lines that actually impact the viewing experience. One example being, "There's no time to explain." And guess what? There is almost always time to explain. Even if there's not, you can walk and talk. Like, it gets on my damn nerves how easily they can catch the other character up, yet we just choose not to, simply to drive up the stakes. Especially if we as an audience don't even know what the hell's going on yet. Like, if this was a real life or death situation, you want to take those 20 seconds to explain. Then we got another line that I want to take a little bit of a shit on. When the villain says, "You and I are not so different." Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired of hearing this fuck ass line. I just gotta roll my eyes whenever
that is true.
Because sometimes it's not even in the slightest bit true. You can literally have a villain who kicks babies for fun and a hero who wouldn't hurt a summer ant, and this shitty ass line would still be said. Now, I get it. There are times
Yo, you only really hear those lines in like the corniest of corny movies though, but like they be funny. They like watch some Disney movies. Every line he said you go hear. This is a crazy frame to pause on, by the way. I just noticed what's happening. What movie is this, bro? What is going on here? How long do you think this video took to edit? If he's a fast editor, there's not a lot of sound effects and stuff like that. This might have took, if you really grinded, might have took 3 to 4 days. If he did little by little, this might have took a week or more. Because like he changes gifs a lot. A lot, bro.
This line does work. The hero and the villain have a similar history. But sometimes this shit is just said for the sake of the villain having something to say. Now, this last trope, we've all seen it. The stereotypical bully or jock giving wedgies, throwing weak-ass insults, and shoving nerds into lockers. Now, I just want to say, movies and shows probably use these stereotypes in order to not depict realistic bullying. I get it, but I'm still gonna make fun of it. Now, these stereotypes probably did happen back in the 80s, but if these types of bullies were to exist in today's age, bro, they would be the victim. If you give someone a wedgie today, you'd probably be labeled a fucking freak. Same thing with the insults. If you were to call someone a 4 eyes today, I don't know, they might just call you a slur. And here's the thing, the Disney Channel type of shows can get away with this type
Nah,
of
right, you can't be a stereotypical bully today, bro. You cannot. What the extent that you would have to go through to be a bully in today's day and age, you would have to like, I don't know, you'd have to really pick on somebody who's real quiet. Like I really don't think you could succeed with any type of bullying today, which is a good thing, which is a great thing. But you know what I'm saying, like nah. I don't know how bro be finding these clips. I be struggling. Me too. I have like I low-key be reusing, not in like a lazy way, but like I have like a clip of like 20 gifs of like per thing I would do. Like if I have a yapping clip, I have like 20 yapping clips to choose from, things of that nature. I don't know how he's getting all these from all these different shows, all different places. It's a lot.
This trope just sticks out like a sore thumb. And I'm sorry to use this as an example again, But Stranger Things. Dog, I need to stop talking shit about this show. Yo, on God, this fandom might skin me alive if I keep talking shit. But anyways, this show's lines have always been kind of cheesy, and it makes sense. The main cast was like fucking 5 during the earlier seasons, so the stereotypical bullies were realistic because the main party were still young kids. But fast forward to season 5. The actors are like 30 years old or something. The characters they're supposed to be playing are 16 or 17. Basically high school seniors, and they're still facing stereotypical bullies that shoved them into lockers. Like, you can't be fucking for real. I get it, it's the 80s, but these bullies, I'm pretty sure these motherfuckers are super seniors. Like, there's just no way anybody's acting like this at that grown-ass age.
Now,
you know
right?
what I'm saying? But the entire bully scene was poopy as shit. I respect the actors for going along with this, because I would have walked the hell out. Ain't no fucking way I'm bringing this shitty-ass script to life. Not only that, when you're watching the scene, you can just tell that the directors probably thought this shit was tough. It's not.
Yeah, if you touch Dustin again, I'll kick them so hard they'll pop like water balloons.
I say kick away. Stop this meathead from reproducing and further infecting the world with his unique brand of idiocy.
That line was so bad. You could have wrote that line 30 times better. That line, I really don't know who wrote that and thought that was hard. Like even if he's supposed to be a nerd or something, bro, that was such a wordy mess. Oh, something like it's just bad. That's just terrible. I don't know, bro. I agree with most of these tropes, though. Shout out to my boy Javius. I'm out.